Phil Davis here with the Spero Car Project episode 2. In this episode I'm going to be installing the coilovers, which I'm really excited about. And I'm not actually going to be doing one of those time-lapse videos where you watch me put it all on. And I'll tell you why, because Raceland actually makes a very thorough tutorial video on how to do it. So what I'm going to do is add a link to that video in the description below, and if you're curious you can watch it. I can't wait to give you my 2 cents on Raceland, because when I was looking into coilovers, of course there's the eBay coilovers for $200 or $300. A lot of people said to stay away from them. I thought about just getting new springs, lowering springs, but I didn't want to put the increased pressure on my struts, considering this is a 21-year-old car. I didn't want to go that route. So I settled on Raceland because I have to tell you, they're very affordable and I've heard pretty good things. It's kind of a mixed bag. Those of you out there who are into performance stuff, you're going, what, Raceland? But I'm telling you, I've heard some great things and I'm going to find out for myself what I think about them. The product looks great. I'll bring the camera over so you can get a closer look, but it came in a very well packaged box. You got your 2 rear coilovers. And I'm thankful that they didn't send 2 right and 2 left for the front, because I hate it once that happens. But so we've got the fronts right here with the sway bar, which is great, which is adjustable, of course. I think it's called a sway bar. It's a type of sway bar, I think. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. They've got the tools to adjust it, which I might actually do. I might just install them today and then not worry about lowering the car until later. But I have a couple other things that are kind of exciting to tell you. In the mail today, finally, came my adapter. So this is a 1 1/4 inch aluminum 5x100 to 5x105, so that I can put this I'm going to break the table behind this rim, and the rim is obviously a 105. The car is a 5x100. So that adapter is going to bring the rim out a little bit, and it's going to make it fit to the car real nice. So I'm excited to put those on. And last but not least, I wanted to show you and tell you too, just to brag Raceland up a little bit before I even try out their product. This was in the box, and I thought, what is this? Some kind of tool? No, it's not a tool. It's a coilover keychain that actually has a little strut and coil with it. So this is really cool. I'm definitely going to put that on as my keychain. And the other thing I wanted to say is a couple of weeks after I received the product, Raceland sent me an email asking, hey, how did everything go with the installation? Was everything okay? Did you have any questions? They were looking for feedback. And I got to tell you that in 2021, when a company does that, I think that's tremendous. So far, Raceland, I'm very happy with your product. RTX rims, we'll talk about them later, but they look great, but I'm not a happy customer with them just yet, and I'll tell you why in the next video when I install those rims. Now they look great, but we'll see how they turn out. So I'm going to stop the video, turn on some music, and I'm going to put my struts on. Oh, I should tell you too, lastly, I did just measure the height of the car using this 4-foot level, and it came in at, I'd have to go check my paper, I think it was 51 1/4. So that means we should definitely be able to get below the 50 mark, which is my goal. So if I can hit 49 1/2, I'm going to be happy. I also measured the gap between the top of the tire and the fender, and the back is 5 1/2 and the front's 5 1/4. So, all right. Well, I've been at it for probably an hour and a half now, and I hesitated making this part of the video, but you know what? I'm a high school teacher, and I'm always telling students, you know, don't give up, don't quit. I mean, the name of this project is Spero, which is I hope, which is supposed to give you that, you know, perseverance that I have hope. But I want to tell you guys, I'm going to a mechanic to put on these coilovers, And you might go, no, Phil, don't give up. Come on, man. But I want to be honest with you and tell you why. I took the front tire off and everything was going great. I followed the video instructions, and I'll tell you, there's some nuts in there that were never made to move. Now, I have moved some hard nuts before, okay? I've got my fluid film, I've got my WD-40, I sprayed them, I let them sit. I even tried to use my torque wrench to give me a little leverage because I don't have a big brake bar like mechanics would have. I don't even have an air drill. I've got this hammer drill, Milwaukee, which works great. So I couldn't budge the front nut at all, not even close. And it's one of those tricky ones that I've never come across before, where you have to use a hex wrench, which I don't even have. I had to use this little thing, stick it in there, and then you have to you put your other wrench on, and you have to hold this one like, and you're trying to move that one. It wouldn't even squeak. So I gave up on the front one. I did try out the rim though. The rim looked great. Okay, I put the rim and the adapter on, and I was very pleased with that. Then I thought, well, I could at least do the two back coilovers. So I followed the instructions on the video yet again, and I want to tell you that, and this isn't Raceland's fault, because Raceland did a good job making the video, but the nuts on the Raceland video were pristine. They were not rusted. Just saying. The other thing is, they didn't really give me any heads up that when I took off the bolt that held the bottom part on, right here, that all of a sudden, the whole suspension was going to move. And so I could have stripped the threads on that if I wasn't careful. That's in the video, they just go tick, 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 and it slides right out. It didn't happen that way. There was a lot of pressure on it. I wasn't prepared for that. And then, so I'm not going to give up, but I am going to let someone help me, right? It's an opportunity, you know, to go see my mechanic and shoot the breeze. I haven't seen him in a while. And I will say this though, and before I post this video, I'll wait until after it's all said and done. If he can get those off, I mean, he should go to Vegas with the magic show, because I have no idea how mechanics do that. And the point of this project wasn't for me to do the whole thing anyway. The point of this project is for me to end up with a really cool looking, unique car. I intend on doing all of the body work, okay? Most of it. But the mechanical stuff, I tried. It's out of my league, so stay tuned, and hopefully we can get those t-shirts to you soon. All right, the suspension has been put on the car. And as I said in the last little clip, I was not able to do it, but the mechanic did it. It took him 4 hours, and he said that there were parts that were pretty easy to do with his tools and equipment, but there were other parts that weren't as easy as you would expect. So if you were to ask my feedback on Raceland coilovers, and I want to point out too, Raceland usually makes 2 different versions, and I forget the name. It's like the Ultimum or something. I think it's that. They make the higher end and the lower end, and they only make the lower end for the Celica. They don't make 2 options. So I had to get the lower end coilovers. They're not adjustable as far as the camber is concerned, but they are adjustable as far as the height is concerned. And they come with, I think I showed you this before, but they come with the 2 little, I forget the name for this type of tool, so I can lower it or raise it if I want to. And I might still do that, because I told the mechanic, just go ahead and slap them on there, make sure they're even, obviously, on both sides, but don't worry about the height adjustment. I will do that later. He actually did a great job, because I think I mentioned this in the first clip, but I was hoping to make the back end lower than the front. The way the Celica comes, it's kind of got that little bit of a stance to it, and I wanted it to be a little more flat, and he did that. So I just want to tell you some numbers here. Before I took it to him, the top of the roof of the car was 51¼ inches. Now it's 49½. So we broke the 50 mark easily, and I can still go lower, and I might do that. The other thing I thought I'd mention is the back space between the fender and the top of the tire. It used to be 2½ inches back here. Now it's about 3/4 inch, which is great. The front, I didn't take an accurate measurement. They were 2¼ and now I'd say they're about 1, maybe 1¼ So again, it's sitting pretty good. I am going to slap on the 18-inch tires, if not tonight, tomorrow, and I'll make a separate video for that. So if you really want to see what the suspension looks like without the tires on, just watch the video on the spacers. It should be a short one too. I'm just going to put the car up, take off the tires, put on the adapters, put on the 18s, and hopefully they don't rub on the back. It's going to be close. And I'm not worried about the rubbing because I'm going to cut the fenders eventually. So those are my numbers. As far as my feedback or my opinion on Raceland coilovers, I want to say this. The only negative I would say is the video, which again is in the description below. The video made it look like anybody could do this. They could just change them and slap them on. And Raceland doesn't say it's easy. I think they even had an insert in the box that said, unless you're an experienced mechanic, don't try this on your own. I discovered I couldn't do it. And it was a little humbling, but at the same time, I felt validated when the mechanic told me that, you know, it wasn't quite as easy as you might think. He was able to do it, but he said it was a little tricky. So I did the right thing in not wasting weeks of my time trying to do that, you know, making all my knuckles bleed and so on. I just let someone who knew what they were doing do it. The main part of the project that I want to have my hands in, of course, is shaping the body, which is coming next. I can't wait. Maybe next week even. So that's it. That's the only negative about Raceland. All of the positives would be shipping was fantastic. The packaging was fantastic. The product looks really sharp. The mechanic even commented on that. He said they look great. Here's the best part. The ride was amazing. The ride home from the mechanic shop, it was quite short. I hit every bump and pothole I could find, and the thing soaked it up like nothing. And I was worried that it might bottom out. Some videos on Raceland say that they rattle and make noise. Not at all. This thing was dead quiet. I'm really happy. It's stiff. It's much, much stiffer than any car I've ever driven. But again, they're supposed to be performance suspension parts, and I think they nailed it. So I would give Raceland a 9.5 out of 10 for the money. Again, I don't have any experience with more expensive setups, and I couldn't put it on myself, okay? But as far as it was exactly what I hoped it would be. They do have a lifetime warranty, which is pretty cool. So that's it for this video. The t-shirts are in, and I'm going to make a real short video just showing you the sizing of them. And I'm going to do that again, if not tonight, tomorrow. I'll put up the video on the t-shirts, and then I'm going to slap on those 18-inch rims, pull it out on the road so you can see what it looks like. And then after that, it's all about the body. Thanks for watching, and keep in mind, if you want to support, you can buy a t-shirt, which is really appreciated, or you could buy me a coffee if you like. If any of this feedback has been good for you on Raceland coilovers, then it's a $5 coffee is all. So it's in the description below. You can click the link to buy me a coffee, and if you buy me a coffee, I get $5, and it helps pay for the project. It helps pay for the mechanic costs and stuff too. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.